Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu.
NamRA, serving with passion.
Hello and welcome to this edition of NamRA Kachenu, where we focus on tax, customs and excise matters. I'm Elise Dentlinger and I'm honored to be in your company for the next half an hour or so. In recent developments, Commissioner Shidhudhu addresses Pensioners Association. NamRA launches Ethics and Integrity Program. NamRA engage City of Windhoek. All that and more in just a little while. NamRA Commissioner Shidhudhu recently attended the Government Institution Pensioner Association of Namibia's GPEN biennial meeting, where he stressed the need for constant interaction with GPEN and committed NamRA support to public education efforts in enhancing tax literacy and compliance.
Now, like I indicated that in taxation there are two principles. You have tax policy and you have tax administration. Tax policy is responsible for making tax laws and the regulation with regard to tax. Then of course, tax administration is to administer the law as it's made by lawmakers. You wouldn't want someone who is making the law, he's also saying, oh, we will want to tax you 30% and he's also the one collecting. You want to separate that. However, by law, I'm required to advise the Minister of Finance with regard to the performance of revenue and also with regard to revenue collection. I do know that we as Namibia Revenue Agency, we are the one mostly who are in contact with taxpayers. If you have a concern with regard to a position and you bring it to my attention, yes, legally I'm not allowed to entertain it and so on. But because I engage with the Minister of Finance, I brief him, I advise him on a monthly basis, I will put a covering letter and take it to tax policy. And I think because we are more closer to taxpayers than tax policy, that's my
My name is Andrew Machila. I am National Chairperson of the Government Institutions Pensioners Association of Namibia, GIPAN. We have an AGM now here today. We invited officials of NamRA specifically for them to be here because we have so many problems with our taxes, taxation, paying tax and so on, and we wanted them to be present so that if there's any of our members who would like to ask questions in connection with taxation, they could help us over this matter. It is a very, very difficult question that we always meet whenever we have meetings anywhere in any of our regions. People always want to know about their taxes. And we are happy that the Commissioner and his officials are here to assist us in this regard.
NamRA launched its Ethics and Integrity Program on the 9th of November 2023 under the theme Leading with Integrity through a Cultural Exchange in Fighting Corruption, which is aimed at instilling ethical behaviors by setting rules and standards in employees.
We have declared our asset, and we don't just declare the asset and have asset declaration. We also look at those assets that have been declared as well. I think that's a very positive. Then we have the ethics policy, ethic and integrity policy. We have that. Then of course you have your internal affair, where we recruit people to ensure that in case then one of the bad people or someone is accused. Remember, not everyone who is a subject of investigation is really guilty, because we are innocent until proven guilty. We also know that sometimes, as a form of intimidation, when people, they know that they cannot get you into their pocket, they cannot control you. You also know that sometimes people also make false allegations. But it not end there. So we have declared, we have declared our asset. Apart from declaring our asset, we have also developed a whistleblower policy. And we are in a process of procuring a system where the Namibian people can anonymously report any unethical conduct within NamRA. And if that is not enough, then we even go further to operationalize Section 102 of the Customs Act, where we are saying that if someone reports something, especially within the customs space, maybe under valuation, misclassification, or non-declaration, and there is a positive interception and there are penalties. In such a case, if there are penalties or maybe the goods are sold through auction, the commissioner can withhold up to a 1/3 to be paid to the person who have reported that. Are we together?
Ethics, high integrity, fighting corruption is very close and dear to my heart. The speakers today, they've demonstrated the context of ethics and integrity, its importance, and it is for all of us to embrace and commit to this very important ethics and integrity program of NamRA.
NamRA is deliberate about engaging and educating clients on NamRA's mandate and addressing tax and customs issues between NamRA and its clients. Thus, the City of Windhoek got an opportunity to sit down with the team to discuss a few issues.
If there's anything that you are not happy with us, number one, come to us, contact us. Identify yourself, you must have your tax number, your ID. Tell us why you are not satisfied, clearly. Ne? Then you must either tell us, advise us what you want to be done. Tell us clearly. And then you must keep your record. That will help us to improve our service.
When we return, we will be joined by Mr. Tonateni Shidhudhu, Manager Strategic Communications and Stakeholder Engagements at NamRA. Stay tuned.
We administer tax and custom laws so efficiently and consistently. We are ethical, effective in changing lives. We are there for you. This is your revenue. NamRA, serving with passion to positively impact the livelihood of every Namibian.
Welcome back, and we are now joined by Mr. Tonateni Shidhudhu, Strategic Communications and Stakeholders Engagement Manager in NamRA. Mr. Tonateni, heartily welcome at this episode of NamRA Kachenu. We are so honored that you can join us today.
Thank you, Elise. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. So kindly, can you share with us your experiences since joining NamRA, and how have you experienced it overall since starting with NamRA?
Thank you again. Let me just set back again and explain my role as manager of strategy communication and stakeholder engagement. So I am responsible for internal and external communications. We also looked at after the portfolio of stakeholder engagement. But yes, my experience in NamRA has been really, really good, has been great, amazing. I joined NamRA 4 months after it was established.
Wow.
That was in 2021.
Okay.
And I count myself as still part of the founding team of the Namibia Revenue
Indeed.
Agency. So, of course, the journey has been really, it's been a learning process.
Yeah.
As I said, I only joined a few months after the institution was established. So it has been really busy trying to develop policies and strategies, as well as to put up the team. And I must say, I am lucky to work with a young and dynamic team. And we have really been able to establish the department and really make our contribution to assist the organization in realizing its objectives and fulfilling its mandate. So the journey has really been great so far.
Great so far. And I must applaud you and the team, because I have been very keeping in close eye, because I'm interested in to see also the developing. And you have mentioned now that you are part of the starting up of this institute, and I must commend you guys on really doing a great job. And can you also can you in helping our audience gain a deeper understanding, could you elaborate on the functions of strategic communications and stakeholders engagements and its significance within NamRA?
Okay, so my position is called Manager, Strategic Communications and Stakeholder Engagements. We fall under the department that is called Strategic Communications and Support Engagement. So we are responsible for internal communications as well as external communications. We are also responsible for facilitating engagements with NamRA clients or stakeholders. And that also include media liaison. So I'm responsible for responding to media queries, as well as looking after the intranet, as well as the website, also the newsletter. So what we do in my positions or in my division is that we serve as a transmission belt between the institutions and its stakeholders. So that's the function, that we carry out to make sure that the communication process is carried out diligently, and also that the stakeholders are engaged and that their expectations or their needs are met. And that also include facilitating taxpayers' educations and traders' education at times, as well as branding of the institution of the institutions. You know, we have just we were created from the Ministry of Finance. So as a new institutions, we really needed to come up with a strategy of making sure that our offices or all our offices are branded. And also to make sure that the footprint is visible. So we are responsible also for promoting our brand. And also just to look after our reputations. And you guys have been doing a great job again on that, because if you look at the NamRA branding everywhere, I mean, I feel proud to be a part of it, and I can say it really does look good, and you guys have worked so hard on that. Navy with a touch of orange.
And you can even see whenever they're saying, oh, something different, something new, something fresh. So we applaud you again on that. That is fantastic to hear. So we would appreciate if you could guide us through some of the notable stakeholders engagement conducted this year. and also provide us insights into any imminent engagements before this year's end, and also outline your plans for 2024.
Elise, 2023 has been a very, very busy year on our part. There has been a number of sessions carried out, and the notable one that I can remember now is the stakeholder engagements with the creative industry, where we brought together all the role players in the creative sector just to educate them on the NamRA functions and mandates, as well as to hear from them what is their expectations when it comes to our role as an institutions, and also to educate them what is expected of them, because some of them did not know where do they fall, how can they register as artists or as creative players. So the engagement was really a success. We were able to engage them, to provide them with an opportunity to ask questions. The other one was also with the construction sector. We did the same. We brought all of them, all the role players in the construction sector, really with an overall aim of creating a mutual understanding, and promoting compliance, to make sure that they are compliant and able to provide their fair share when it comes to revenue contribution.
And we are so glad that you are actually reaching out to these industries, because really people want to do the right thing sometimes, but where to start, what to do, how to go about it. And it's really good to hear the initiatives that you are really taking in really informing and engage with them. We are very, very grateful to hear that.
These are just of the main ones, but we have also carried out sessions on a smaller scale. We have also engaged the farmers. We have also engaged institutions like the city of Windhoek. We have gone to other institutions as well, other unions as well, just to teach them about NamRA, to teach them about compliance, to teach them about ITAS. So those are the things that have really been keeping us busy in our department.
And I believe it will be an ongoing thing as we are proceeding forward with building NamRA. It's not going to stop. So if there are maybe people out there who have missed it, there might be in future.
Indeed, engagement is a continuous process. We believe in a principle of engaging. We really want to remain in touch with our stakeholders, and our stakeholder engagement strategy, it's really clear because we have outlined all the activities. We will really make sure that we reach out to all the corners of our country. And I'm proud to say that we, in August, when we officially opened our satellite office in Etopua in the Kunene region, we also had a stakeholder engagement with the taxpayers or the population of Kunene region. These are far remote areas that in the past events of this nature were not conducted. And I must say the governor and other leadership in the region were really, including the taxpayers as well and traders, were really happy that we were able to bring services closer to them. And that's how our role comes in as strategic communications, to make sure that we facilitate the engagements in all the corners, in all the sectors of our country.
And I'm so glad to hear that you are going so broadly. It really shows that NamRA means business.
NamRA means business, and we live by our vision and mission statement, and that is to make sure that we make a positive impact in the lives of Namibians.
again, we must applaud you for that. That is so well said, and I believe our taxpayers are so grateful for all the efforts that has been taken and put in so far. So, Mr. Tonateni, I am so enjoying this interview.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Could you shed light on the challenges that your department currently faced, and you yourself in your position?
Well, I must say, okay, as a new institutions, I think there are so many things that we would like to do at the same time. And sometimes you don't have enough time, as there are so many competing needs.
Yes.
The domestic taxes department is keeping us busy. On the other side, the custom and excise department is keeping us busy. So the challenge has really been trying to strike a balance between the needs of the institutions, and really making sure that we serve the institution very well, and making sure that we facilitate all the engagement in a fair and professional manner. But one of the challenges that I can perhaps state here is that as a new institutions, we are still in the process of acquiring certain materials and equipment. There are so many things that we would like to do, but we do not have the type of resources that we want. But we are in the process of acquiring them. And also just to make sure that we meet the expectations of the stakeholders. You know, taxpayers and business people, they have these other expectations from us, and perhaps sometimes we are unable to meet that expectations because of the infant stage that we are. But I must say, as I said, I work with a very young and dynamic team. Many a times we are able to come up with innovations and solutions. Every time in the morning we meet and strategize on how to respond to issues, not only from management the
side,
tasks that we are given, but also from our taxpayers, from business people, and it's really about making sure that the way we communicate is done in an easy way, in a language that they understand and also in a way that could easily be well understood. So sometimes, you know, we're not only depending on emails when we are disseminating our information, but or posting on social media, but we also have WhatsApp group, we have Telegram, we have gone to TikTok to make sure that the young people that wants to use TikTok are also engaged, or they get our message. So there is a challenge in trying to meet all these needs. But I must say we are able to make sure that we find a solution always to these challenges that we face.
But I'm so grateful that you have mentioned now the manner you said in which you want to convey the information in an understandable way, because me myself, I worked on the road show, you know, that was planned for the due date, and I was very, very happy that I was in that position to be able to say, now this is our pamphlets that we are having. If you are a farmer, you can take this one, so you can have all the information in your hand. This is our website, you can go there. So I can proudly say that I'm glad I'm also a part of this new NamRA that has been sending out this information so effectively, because that is what we want. We want people to engage, we want them to know, we want them to understand.
Developing of content is one of our functions.
Yeah.
So as a communications department, we are responsible for developing contents.
Yeah.
Of course, departments have the responsibility of giving us information, but it's up
Yes.
to us to make sure that
Yeah.
this information that we get from the different departments of NamRA are summarized
Yes.
and really put in the language
Yeah.
that people will understand.
Yes.
And as you asked about the challenges that we are facing, I think one of the challenges was really to find ample time,
yes.
to develop and design some of those materials,
Yes.
such as brochures. But I'm really happy that we have a dedicated team. We have 2 senior branding and design officers that I can say almost work 24 hours to make sure that they meet the needs of the various departments in designing some of those contents.
Some of those contents, and they did a great job. We applaud you for that once again. A very good job done. So lastly, Mr. Tonateni, could you tell us what message would you like to convey to our viewers as a final note?
The message that I would like to give to our viewers is just to say NamRA is here to make a positive impact in the lives of the people.
Yeah.
We should really embrace this institution. We are collecting revenue that is aimed at providing support or putting government in a better position to fund capital projects, as well as to improve economic growth. So we want our taxpayers, our business people, our traders, and everyone to be compliant. So when we have events or sessions, taxpayers educational sessions or stakeholders engagement sessions in your town, in your village, or at or when you hear that we are taking part in an exhibition or a trade fair near you, please do come through, because this information, really the information that we are giving, put you in a better position to be compliant. I was recently part of our participation at the Ongwediva Trade Fair. And really, it was amazing to see the long queues of people flocking to our stand. And that really gives us hope and an excitement to see that people want to be compliant. They were coming with their pay 5. They wanted to find out if they do owe so that they can settle their debts. It was just an amazing thing. So really, NamRA is here to make our country a better place. NamRA is here to strengthen the coffers of the state, and making sure that government is really in a better position to improve the livelihood of its citizens.
And with that said, also important to note that people don't have to be scared, because it's what we saw on the road show. People are so scared, they doesn't want to really come and find out what this is all about. But when they get invited, like you said, then they end up in queues like that. And we want our taxpayers to know that they don't need to be scared. We are approachable, we listen, we understand, we help, we provide the necessary information, and we can take it from that point where you currently are stuck at in helping you, because you said if every Namibian can become compliant, then government are able to fulfill their duties towards every citizen.
And I like what you said, that sometimes people are scared just because they have limited knowledge about our operations. But once they come, they will realize that there was no need to be scared, because our doors are open. Our policies are very accommodating. And we are saying, if you find yourself in a position where you are unable to settle your outstanding debts, if you have debts, if you have tax debts, you can come and do a payment arrangement.
That's true.
Even businesses that want to take part in, for example, in the procurement process, but they do not have good standing certificates,
yes,
they can come and make an arrangement.
Yes.
They pay at 10% of what they owe, and then they will be issued with
Yes.
with a tax good standing certificate.
certificates, yes.
So these are the message as a communication department.
Yes.
We have really been busy with really trying to spread that message and make
Yeah.
sure that our taxpayers
Yeah.
get the message.
Thank you, Mr. Tonateni. That was very informative, and thank you for taking out the time to come and visit us today. We know you are very busy, and we appreciate that. So that was Mr. Tonateni Shidhudhu, Manager Strategic Communications and Stakeholder Engagements in NamRA. Thank you.
We administer tax and custom laws so efficiently and consistently. We are ethical, effective in changing lives. We are there for you. This is your revenue.
NamRA, serving with passion to positively impact the livelihood of every Namibian.
Meet Claudia Shapena, Senior Tax Officer, Audit Taxpayer Services at North Central Regional Office, Otjiwarongo, one of NamRA's dedicated staff in domestic taxes. Here is Claudia.
I was born in Ondehaluka village in the Orongwena region. I joined NamRA on the 1st of October 2022. My duties are, amongst others, to oversee the audit department, where we enforce compliance through audit. Auditing is a process of reviewing documentations and financial statements. I'm driven by the fact that the work we do at NamRA impacts everyone in Namibia, in that the taxes we collect are used for development of our towns, our health infrastructures, our road networks, and also they are used to formalize businesses. My future plans are to further my studies in the area of auditing and taxation, as well as international taxation. Lastly, I would like to urge all Namibians to pay their fair share of taxes for the betterment of our infrastructures, our health care, and for the improvement in the livelihood of all Namibians.
In the next insert, we will look at stamp and transfer duties refund requirements.
Hi, I am Nesla Watanawa. Today we are going to talk about the common reasons and their requirements for stamp and transfer duty refunds. The refunds are mostly due to cancelled transactions, overpayments, or duplicate payments. For cancelled transactions, the requirements to claim the refund is to complete and submit a claim form and the original transfer stamp duty receipt, the cancellation agreement signed by both parties, declaration of cancellation by the seller, declaration of cancellation by the purchaser, and the deed of sale. For overpayments, the requirement to claim the refund is to complete and submit the claim form and the original overpayment receipt, the proof of payment, copy of the correct receipt to be lodged with the deeds office. For duplicate payments, the requirements to claim the refund is to complete and submit the claim form, the original surplus receipts, both proof of payments, copy of the correct receipt to be lodged with the deeds office. Kindly note that there could be other reasons which will only be looked at as per the client's query.
Here is the trivia of duties.
Did you know, in terms of Section 35A of the Income Tax Act, number 24 of 1981, any resident who pays or becomes liable to pay Whether directly or indirectly, any entertainment fee to a non-resident must deduct or withhold tax equal to 25% of the entertainment fees paid to such a non-resident. Some examples of entertainers are actors, actresses, radio personalities, theatre artists, musicians, and sports people.
NamRA, Serving with Passion.
Up next, we are looking at customs valuation determinations.
Good day to our NamRA stakeholders on the supply chain. My name is Stanley Kurira. I'm the manager for customs valuation and classification at NamRA new building, which is situated at Town Square. We are based at the first floor, west, and you are free to visit our offices if you require information. During this session, I will talk about customs valuation, but I will be specific on three aspects. Firstly, I will talk about what customs valuation is. We will touch on, secondly, on the importance of customs valuation, and then we will look into key elements that you need to know as a trader when you are valuating goods imported from outside Namibia. So what is customs valuation? Customs valuation is the procedure applied for goods imported and where we attach duties and taxes on that value. Importance thereof is, as you are aware, country can only sustain itself through duties and taxes that we collect on behalf of the state coffers. And when we mean state coffers, we are acting or we are collecting revenue for the state, and it's not our revenue that we collect, it's for the state. So that money is being put into state coffers. Secondly, importance thereof is also that it is essential for us to collect this revenue for economic growth, and also important for aspects for social welfare as well as for development of Namibia at large. So what are the key elements that we also have to consider when we are evaluating goods when it's imported. The first one is the sale. So what we mean by sales is there must be a transaction between the buyer and the seller. Importer, which we refer is the buyer, and then the seller is the supplier. So the supplier and importer must have an agreement, contractual obligation or agreement that they are importing goods and they are paying price for those goods. So that's where the customs valuation comes in. Secondly, the goods must be sold for export from the country of exportation to the country of importation. And it is very important that there must be a price paid for those goods. Now the goods entails in quantities or it can be a one item, and there must be a commercial invoice for those goods. And therefore it's important and paramount that colleagues and traders still need to know that there is supporting documents when you are importing goods through the port of Namibia or through the entry points of Namibia. There must be supporting documents such as commercial invoice, there must be packing list for the goods, there must also be all the supporting information like whether there was discount given, whether there was selling commission in this respect, etc. So those supporting documents must be accompanied by the sales contract, and then the goods must be declared at the point of entry. Lastly, there must be also cost consideration in terms of Article 8 of WTO valuation agreement. The cost, what we are referring to, is the cost incurred by the buyer at the time of export. There may be inland charges, there may be packaging or stuffing of the container. That cost needs to be added to the price paid or payable. Equally, the cost with labor. If you have a labor to pack tires, for example, and stuff it into the container, that cost should be included, and it must be declared as such. Yeah, before I conclude, also note our important stakeholders that NamRA Customs Office that is tasked with valuation policies and SOPs. They are doing these things in line with the law, with Customs and Excise Act. There are provisions under Chapter 9 that deals with valuation of goods and principle of this, how you have to declare the goods, how you have to value the goods. So please adhere to those principles. Equally take note that Customs is also under obligation to provide you the right to be heard in terms of Article 17 to explain how the determinations was made. And then also take note that in terms of Article 17 of WTO valuation agreement, Customs have the right to doubt the value that is being imported. So therefore, we are asking you please to declare goods correctly, honestly and truthfully, so that at least when you are being assessed, you provide the evidence as to how the goods was being declared. Note that our traders, our important traders and stakeholders, being the clearing agent, clearing on behalf of importer or exporter or interested person or a transporter, are warned that any offense or any infringement of the law will be dealt with our enforcement and penalty guidelines. And as to indicate to you, false documentation and false declaration may require you to pay up to 40,000 Namibian dollars, or 3 times the value of that in terms of Section 94. So that is one example that I can give to you. False or invoices that has been played with or it's fake, those will have 40,000 or 3 times the value of goods. So penalties have been set. Please just adhere to that. That is what I wanted to share with you this afternoon or during this day, so that you can know those are the aspects that one should consider. Thank you.
Do you want to make a payment for tax debt? Here are the available options for payment.
My name is Angela Kamui, Senior Revenue Treasury Officer at NamRA. I'm going to take you through the process of making payments to our NamRA offices. We have 4 modes of payments which are acceptable at our offices, which are direct deposits, cash payments, electronic fund transfers, and speed points machines. When making electronic fund transfers, we have two accounts available for our taxpayers, which is Receiver of Revenue, account 165001, and the VAT dedicated account 165060. When making a direct deposit, our taxpayers need to fill this deposit slip at their commercial bank. You need to have your TIN with you. The TIN consists of eight characters, and then you should also know the period that you are making the payment for. When making an electronic fund transfer, for your penalty or interest liability due to NamRA, you use the EFT referencing example as shown on the screen. It also has 19 characters, but on the text type and text period, you put 999, indicating that the payment is account payment. When making electronic fund transfers, EFT referencing example is shown on the screen, which comprises of 19 characters. The taxpayer reference number comprises of 5 parameters, which are as follows. 1. Represent the payment method, in this case, EFT payment. 06. Office of registration or your return office. The 8th character represents your tax identification number. 14 is tax type, in this case, employees tax. 2018-06 is the tax period for which the payment is meant for.
In the last episode, we asked, how many new customs and excise officers graduated on the 26th of October 2023? The answer is 145 customs and excise officers graduated. Here is this episode's question. When was the NamRA Ethics and Integrity Program launched? Do email your answer to NamRA Kachenu at namra.org.na. The due date for submission is the 30th of November 2023. The winner will be announced in the next episode.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of NamRA Kachenu. We hope you found the information valuable and insightful. Join us in 2 weeks' time for more updates. Until then, stay informed and compliant. Goodbye.
Giving fairness and